Hello and welcome. My name is Pamela Schwarz, and I am here to share with you the truth about your body and the endocannabinoid system and how our product, HempFX, can help to create homeostasis or balance in your entire body system. I wanted to give you a little bit of background about myself. I am a recently retired neuromuscular therapist. I had a private practice for almost 20 years here in Jacksonville, Florida, specializing in the alleviation of chronic pain and correction of dysfunctional biomechanics. I also traveled on the PGA Tour with some professional golfers privately, one of whom won the TPC here at Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra during the time that he was in my care. But my history goes back farther than that. When I was 13 years old, my father died from cancer at the age of 36. And 2 years later, my maternal grandfather also died from cancer. I was 15 and he was 63. And at that time, I remember speaking with my mother and asking her why God would put these things in my life, in my path, why my father would not be able to see me graduate high school, why he would not see me walk down the aisle, why he would not see me with children of my own. And my mother told me that God gives us circumstances in our life so that we can minister to others. And I take that very much to heart, so that I went to college at UMass Amherst, pre-med biochem, and I switched gears and went to Harvard, where I studied linguistics. After that, I went through my training program for neuromuscular therapy, and I know that God had me on a path that entire time that I could not possibly have created on my own, but I know that He brought me to be where I am today through that path. And I can tell you that with my chronic pain patients, I found that if I taught them how to take better care of themselves at home, that they would respond better to therapy on the table in my office. And so I began to do a lot of research because, as you can imagine, I'm a little bit of a nerd, and I like to do that. I like to study and find out the best information I can to help the people I care about. And so I became a certified health coach through Beyond Organic, and I began to do research to find out what would help them to take better care of themselves at home. And I understood that nutrition played a big part of that, but there were other things that they could do as well to help promote better care for themselves. And so that began my path of my alternative healing as well as nutritional training for the betterment of my patients and my family. And the bottom line is that all that I have done is to try and help other people not to become statistics, not to have the pain and anguish in the family like we had when our father passed away when we were so little. So I'm going to go into a presentation right now that is going to tell you all about the endocannabinoid system. I am part of a company called Youngevity, and it was from an acquisition of the Beyond Organic family that I became a part of the Youngevity family. But I quickly learned that it was very important to supplement the diet, because the truth is we are all deficient because of the lack of nutrition in the soil. So that even though I was part of a very strong mindset of organic eating and healthy eating and avoiding things like gluten and processed sugars and processed flours, that I was still deficient, that my family was still missing out. And so I was very blessed to become a part of Doc Wallach's mission and his decades of research and all of the work that he's done to help not just people in the company of Youngevity, but people in the entire world as far as bettering their lives and changing circumstances so that they would not have to be subject to certain diseases and conditions if they were able to supplement properly. So the evolution of our Youngevity HempFX line has taken 3 years of research and due diligence. Remember, Doc Wallach is the one who's done 50 years of research. And so this was a very important thing to make sure that a product that we offered that was a CBD line with hemp that was going to be the best possible product available. Of course, it is nature and plant derived. And remember, we have plant derived minerals that are the heart and cornerstone of our main product line at Longevity, which is called 90 for Life Nutrition. And HempFX, of course, is completely complementary to that line. The mission at the time of this research was to find an excellent source, to have proprietary formulations and relevant benefits. And this really, truly is the gold rush of natural nutrition, and I will explain why. Hemp has been a significant resource dating back more than 10,000 years. It is nutrient rich and has many applications that it has been used for, from paper and fiber and food and skincare. And the ancient use has been done by many countries, the oldest cultures, China, Egypt, Russia, Greece, and Italy. Again, furthering this and helping you to understand in a more recent history, in 1619, it was illegal not to grow hemp in Virginia because it was such a valuable crop. That is fascinating to me. In 1653, Nicholas Culpeper listed a variety of medical uses of cannabis sativa, including anti-inflammatory, analgesic, and anti-parasitic treatments. Today, hemp is used in over 25,000 products. So you might wonder, why has hemp gotten such a black eye and been thrown out, the baby with the bathwater, with marijuana? A lot of it has to do with financial gain. Henry Ford actually used hemp in his vehicles for the body of the vehicle, and he was also coming up with a way to use the oil to power the vehicles. And of course, that made some people not happy because it would interfere with their benefit. And you're going to see that the same thing with the benefits we see with CBD products is also kind of irritating the pharmaceutical industry. So they realize that this is going to be a big deal. There's a lot to be had as far as taking care of the body in some even more and wonderful natural ways. So let's talk about the difference between hemp and marijuana. And there really is a difference, and they're similar in some ways. So if you can understand, and here in this example, we see that they are considered to be male and female. However, both hemp and marijuana can each have male and female counterparts and can even be hermaphroditic to pollinate self. I would prefer to call them cousins. They're more like lemons and limes. You understand that there's a similarity between them. They may look a lot alike, and some other characteristics like vitamin C are similar, but they are different. They have a different flavor in lemons and limes. They have a different quantity of vitamin C, for example. And the same goes for hemp and marijuana as cousins. You can see that hemp contains 20% or more of CBD and less than 0.3% THC. THC is that psychedelic part that will cause a high. Marijuana, on the other hand, has 10% or more of CBD and over 20% of the THC. And so people will use the marijuana in order to get the benefits from that, but also for the high effect. Hemp is rich in what are called cannabinoids. They carry amazing benefits to which our bodies respond well because we were made to use them, which was really fascinating to me to come to that discovery, to know that this is something relatively new that we are learning. It has a variety of terpenes, which are volatile aromatic oils that produce strong effects on the body and affect receptors and neurotransmitters in the brain. I kind of consider terpenes to be like a little assister. They're helping. They're helping the cannabinoids to function at their best capacity. And so here we have a scope of the systems of the body. And of course, the endocannabinoid system is relatively new, but it's just like the other ones that you may be familiar with: respiratory, digestive, lymphatic, endocrine, which is something that was very fascinating to me when I finished my course of study. My final paper was on the endocrine system because so little is known about it. It's something that is so important and has so much of a tremendous effect on our bodies, and we know so very little about it. But the wild thing is, the endocannabinoid system plays a role in making sure all of this spectrum here of these systems function well. And that is a really, really big deal. So let's talk about this endocannabinoid system and what it does and how it is spread throughout our entire body and controls some of our most vital life functions, including our immune system, our memory, our appetite, our sleep patterns, our mood, and pain. And if you look on the right, you can see the endocannabinoid system controls all of the endocrine system glands, right? The pancreas, the adrenal glands, the kidneys, the ovaries. Think about this. Think about how many people that can be affected by improving the cannabinoids in their body. And there are disorders that CBD assists with, including, remember, we cannot purport to treat, prevent, or cure any disease or condition. However, doesn't it make sense if we provide the body with what it needs that it will function better? So you can see here Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, sclerosis, Crohn's disease, asthma, testicular cancer, fibromyalgia, depression, epilepsy, breast cancer, diabetes, menstrual cramps, rheumatoid arthritis. The list goes on. It's really incredible. And so why do we know so little about the endocannabinoid system? Well, it was only discovered in the late 1980s by Dr. L.A. Matsuda, and humans and animals have them, so that's why a lot of pets are being given cannabinoids to calm them down. Here in Florida, we have a lot of thunderstorms, which our dogs were very nervous about the thunderstorms, and so the CBD that you can get in our hemp product would help those animals to be able to calm down, just like it does for us. But what it does, the endocannabinoid system, is to help our body to achieve balance or homeostasis. And that's maintaining a stable internal environment despite the changes in the external environment. We actually create our own endo inside cannabinoid, and it's called anandamide. And this is the chemical that actually comes from, anandamide comes from the Sanskrit word for bliss. So it's like a happy hormone or a happy chemical in our body that helps us to feel better. It actually helps to create new nerve cells. And it's like that runner's high that we feel. And it also battles anxiety and depression. So think about this. If the endocannabinoid system sends neurotransmitters, which is a message and communication molecule that will go to all your body parts to check that everything is working smoothly, when it finds a problem, it regulates it by sending instructions. So think about this. Think about people that are having reproductive fertility problems, or their weight issues with appetite and hunger and digestive issues, or sleep, or motor control, movement, pain and pleasure, immune function, your temperature, your mood, and your memory. So here's a little picture to depict how the endocannabinoid system works. The endocannabinoids are like keys, and they're trying to find a place, a receptor to fit into. When they fit into that, it's going to allow those neurotransmitters. So what we have here is the presynaptive portion of a neuron and the postsynaptic portion. And in between is the synapse, which is the space. It kind of opens it up and allows the gates to allow those neurotransmitters to flow properly. Okay, so the cool thing is that these cannabinoids will flood your body in search of a receptor or lock. And I can tell you from personal experience, a few months ago, I broke my toe, and it was my left pinky toe. And I would apply a product that we have with my left hand, because I am left-handed and it's on my left side. I would apply it there. And over the course of time, I realized that my right hand and arm were no longer having pain, which I typically deal with. That fascinated me, because now I know that the cannabinoid that I was applying to my left toe with my left hand was finding a way to help alleviate the pain in my right hand and arm. Absolutely incredible. So when the little key finds a place that fits, they click together and the messages are sent through the rest of your body. And the endocannabinoid system is being supplemented just like our 90 for Life supplements our bodies for nutrition. When we take exterior cannabinoids, phytocannabinoids from plants, we are going to help to supplement it and promote it so that those receptors can be stimulated. And think about it. Again, not saying we're curing disease, but can it be course corrected by adding these to your body? And again, it makes sense If it's what your body needs and you provide it what it needs, it's going to function better. And so the endocannabinoid system speaks in a little bit different way, kind of backwards, to monitor and inhibit immune response, reduce inflammation, relax muscles, lower blood pressure, and normalize stimulated nerves. They are created on demand and act as a little dimmer switch to affect how quickly, how often, and where messages get transmitted. So when your endocannabinoid system is out of balance, what will happen? A large variety of conditions can happen, including fibromyalgia and IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, for example. Now, we have an enzyme called FAAH, and its job is to remove extra anandamide from your system. Now, remember, anandamide is the bliss hormone, okay? And so if CBD can stop the FAAH from destroying or breaking down that anandamide, doesn't it make sense? People are going to be happier. They're going to feel better. It's going to create a better balance in the body, right? So that means there's going to be more of your anandamide in the body and more of the cannabinoids that you add through supplementation externally. Absolutely amazing. So be pain relieving and non-psychoactive, right? Again, we're not worrying about the psychedelic part that's going to create a high when we're talking about our products. Excuse me. So the expression of receptors in a person is unique, like a fingerprint. There's a different balance where they are located in the body, a number and concentration of how many there are in one place. So if someone has fewer receptors, they need to consume or use more cannabinoids or add specific terpenes to CBD. Remember, terpenes were like those little assisters that help out. Okay, so keep that in mind, because that's part of what we have done to help elevate the benefit of our CBD products. Migraines, fibromyalgia, and IBS are all signs that the endocannabinoid system is dysfunctional. There is a hypothesis called clinical endocannabinoid deficiency, and this may lie at the root of many disorders. By supplementing the body again with phytocannabinoids, we can correct deficiency, relieve symptoms, and restore health. So, here are some common problems related to an endocannabinoid system deficiency. Do you know or have you experienced any of the following? Headaches, joint pain, back pain, anxiety, nausea, frequent urination, digestive issues, muscle cramps? If you know anyone who is suffering with those, this possibly could be something to help them begin to feel better. So think about where it's affecting it. Everywhere, all over the body. And it affects the male and the female differently as well. So the bottom line is, do you need to know all this science? No, right? All you need to know is CBD good for you? Well, your body has an endocannabinoid system. It does not have a Zoloft or ibuprofen system. Case closed. So what have we done with our HempFX line? We chose the things that were most critical for people in need right now. This is really easy for me to remember because my name is Pamela Ann Schwarz, P-A-S, and so I can think about pain, anxiety, mental cognition, stress, and sleep. And the truth is, when I tell anyone about these 3 products that we have in our trio bundle, the most common 4 words that I hear are, I need all 3. Boom. Everybody, different walks of life, men, women, young, old, exactly the same thing. So we're going to provide sleep support, pain relief, and mood enhancement through these 3 products. So what is different about our products? They are grown here in the US. They are non-GMO and eco-farmed. They're a full spectrum phytocannabinoid, and that's really important. Right now, you have to understand that CBD is the big buzzword. It's everywhere out there in the marketplace. And you want to make sure that what you're getting is going to be the best possible quality. There are people that will tell you that they get CBD from the hemp seed. There is 0 in the hemp seed. They will tell you from the finest stalks in the land. CBD is very minimal in the stalk. Full spectrum phytocannabinoid comes from the flower, right? And so we have actually two patent pending technologies that are very, very important. One magnifies and improves the quality without destroying our full spectrum phytocannabinoid. And the second removes 100% of the THC that is present naturally in the hemp. And again, it does not destroy the full spectrum aspect of the oil. We are organically grown, and every single batch is double tested to show that we have 0% THC in each batch. This is very important for people who are subject to random screening, like my husband, who works for the federal government. The last thing we would want to have happen is that he would, quote, pee hot. What that means is that he would test positive for a drug in his urine, and THC could be that. So you want to make sure that what you're getting has 0 THC. This is critical for many people in many different fields, whether they're truck drivers or police officers or firemen or nurses and doctors. All of these people could be subject to random screening. We're also allergen-free and gluten-free. We are third-party tested for our purity, potency, and overall quality, and we are GMP compliant, which is a good manufacturing practice. So what is unique about us? We've talked a little bit about this, our proprietary organically grown hybrid hemp plant, which benefits us because it is nutrient dense and nutrient diverse. Remember, we have all those variety of phytocannabinoids, the CBDs, and the variety of natural terpenes, and a variety of minerals, all used in order to benefit the entire effect. We have that patent pending oil extraction and purification method, which preserves the natural concentration and diversity of the phytonutrient matrix and distills out THC to 0%. We are independently tested by a third party to have no solvents, no heavy metals, no pesticides. Again, THC tested to 0 non-detectable levels and for the highest potency and purity. And our product delivery is superior for absorption. The three we have right now are a tincture, a soft gel, and a cream. And our proprietary formulation, as I said before, sleep, mood, and pain, or pain, anxiety, sleep. Pamela and Schwartz, remember? And the combination of our phytocannabinoid-rich hemp oil plus herbs, botanicals, and other natural ingredients create what's called an entourage effects, because it's going to make it all work better. They are synergistically improved so that they work well individually, but together they're elevated. In our technology, we have a patent pending nano-emulsion technology and water-soluble technology for higher absorbency. So here are our products that you can take a look at. Our first is the topical cream, Soothe, for muscle, joint, and nerve relief. It has added aloe vera, shea butter, lavender, and lemongrass. For relief, it's added arnica, which is great for bruising. So if you rub that on a bruise, it'll help to dissipate it. Birch oil, menthol, and peppermint. For health, we add glutathione, which is a very high antioxidant, ancient minerals, and our phytocannabinoid-rich full-spectrum hemp oil with 150 milligrams of cannabinoids delivered in each use. Our next is Relax, which is our sleep support formula. It is a powerful tincture providing restfulness to mind and body. For balancing, we have added melatonin, and for calming, we've added chamomile, valerian, and lavender. For resting, linalool, and of course, our phytocannabinoid-rich full-spectrum hemp oil with 25 milligrams of cannabinoids per serving. The other thing I want you to understand is that our taste and smell of our products is wonderful. A lot of products out there have a very, very earthy taste and smell, and that's trying to be polite. But you know, it matters. It matters what it tastes like. It matters what it smells like, because you're going to be comfortable using it on a regular basis. And Uplift is for mood enhancement. We have easy to swallow soft gel for improving mood and cognitive energy. It has St. John's wort to support it as well. And we have myrcene and the full spectrum cannabinoid rich hemp oil, and our bioavailability is improved because our nano emulsion technology and water soluble technology. And I would like to give you another story about Uplift helping our family. Our youngest son, Gavin, is 18 and he's going to be graduating high school, but he'll be also graduating with almost his associate's degree from college. He's done dual enrollment. He's very bright, although he has very bad test anxiety. And taking any type of a standardized test like an ACT or an SAT can be challenging at best. So there was one time where he was going to schedule to take his ACT on a Saturday morning, and the night before we actually had a family commitment where we were out late. He also was starting to get sick, and he didn't eat well that morning because he was nervous, and so his stomach was upset. And so he kind of had everything up against him that he probably was not going to do very well. And so we said, just do your best and go in. And I said, you know what, do you want to try to take one of these Uplift before you go? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So he came back and I said, how did you do after the test was over? And he said, well, I think I did pretty well. I wasn't quite as nervous as I usually am. And so we waited the several weeks to get the test results. By this time I had forgotten that he had taken the Uplift before he went for the test. And so my husband and I were looking at the scores because we wanted to check them before we showed them to him. And lo and behold, his scores were demonstrably better. So when he came home from work, I said, we got your ACT scores. And he thought, how bad are they? I said, actually, honey, you did really great. I'm really proud of you for all your hard work and preparation for this test. And he said, Mom, he said, I took that pill. And that's where we made that connection. What a difference it had made. And so with Uplift, you have 10 milligrams of cannabinoid per soft gel. The only caveat that I would say is make sure anyone who is taking St. John's wort elsewhere should stop taking the other supplement and try using this instead. We don't want to overwhelm the liver with St. John's wort. And anybody that may be taking medication, they need to be sure that there is no contraindication for them for taking St. John's wort. Just a little aside, you cannot overdose on CBD. It's absolutely impossible. It will not hurt you. All of our products are good for adults and children, but HempFX Uplift should not be taken by children younger than 14 because of St. John's wort. So we actually have a trio available, and this is really terrific because you can get the benefit of Soothe, Relax, and Uplift all together for a great deal. And I have found that people who are dealing with especially pain or anxiety, they can use the Soothe topically. They take the Relax at night because they may or may not have sleep issues, but it's going to keep it in their system, and take Uplift during the day. And you can take it as needed, as directed on the bottle. You can reapply the Soothe and take the Uplift additionally through the day based upon what the bottle directions say. But the great thing is, because we know now that there's this endocannabinoid system in your body, that if we provide what it needs, and each person can be different. So some people may have more of that anandamide or may have more of that FAAH enzyme that destroys anandamide. And everybody's got different amounts of their receptors. Think about that. So kind of let your body tell you what it is that you need as you go forward. But I highly recommend that you use them in connection with each other. So what do you do next? You get your trio bundle, or we actually have a CEO pack that is helpful if you want to be a business builder. If you decide that you would like to become a part of our team, you can learn how to share our zero THC CBD and be a part of the next $20 billion industry. Who do you know that might have issues with pain, anxiety, or sleep? Think about that. And these are our resources. So I would like to just say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend with me. Please get back with the person who invited you so that you can find out how to get your zero THC CBD. The trio bundle is preferable. You're going to see terrific benefits, and we all need it at some point or another. So I wish you much success, and God bless. Thank you again. Bye.